Hello, avid readers, book nerds, and casual observers. Welcome to the Read Along brought to you by the Lit Round Table. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Anna, and this is our read along of Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson.
Hi, guys. Welcome to week 7.
Woohoo! We're starting part 6 of Tress of the Emerald Sea, which is very exciting. Before we get into chapter titles, though, we are almost ready for our next read along. You just have the option to vote on what the next book will be. That is, if you're a member of our Patreon. So that link is in the description if you would like voting rights. But Joseph, what are we voting on?
So the 3 options this time are Circe by Madeline Miller, Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, or The Frugal Wizard's Guide to Surviving Medieval England.
Close.
Which is another Brandon Sanderson.
It's close. It's The Frugal Wizard's Handbook to Surviving Medieval England.
Okay.
Just saying.
They're yes.
It's a play on The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, so
Right.
it's understandable why it's confusing. But yes. So those are our 3 books you can vote on if you so choose to become a member of our Patreon. So,
Indeed.
our chapter titles for this week. We've got chapter 54, The Valet, 55, The Hypocrite, 56, The Traitor, 57, The Maligned Fashion Expert, 58, The Monster, and 59, The Prisoner.
Wow. A lot of ramp up, a lot of build up.
Yes. I think that I accidentally broke this section up at exactly the right spot. Because I think if we had read chapter 60, we would not have been able to stop.
No.
So
you pretty much stopped
past self.
Right. Yeah. Right before, because chapter 60 is called The Sorceress.
Right.
So
yes.
You stopped at the perfect time.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a lot of, Tress kind of figuring out what it's like to be the captain, trying to formulate a plan, because there's a lot of bad things that can go wrong with trying to confront the sorceress. There's some Huck drama.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. So she tells...
there's a lot.
She tells the crew the whole truth of her whole story. Not the whole crew. She tells her 3 buddies. So Anne, Ford, and Soleil. Yeah. And then she also introduces them to Huck, who has determined that he is going to be her valet, which was very cute. The valet chapter was cute. And also when she learns that she does not have to necessarily... Was that this chapter? Where she brings them all in then and she's like, guys, I've been trying to think this through and I am not having a whole lot of luck.
It wasn't...
Or was
the
it the
first
hypocrite?
chapter? Might have been. But... Yeah, I mean, it happens pretty early on in the section. But... she's like, how am I going to solve all these problems? And they're like, oh, we have some ideas. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that the imagery that Sanderson uses of, it's really jarring when you've just been piling bricks on yourself and expect yourself to have to deal with all these bricks, and then someone comes along and takes one off your stack. You're like, oh, I don't have to do that all by myself. I thought that was really a good way to describe how poor Tress has been going about this whole problem. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that she finally told them and that they actually believed her this time.
They're not still like, oh, no, you're a King's Mask. Right. You're just saying this because this is your cover story. No, they're like, oh, okay.
And they also don't question her motivations for wanting to save Charlie. Like, they ask her about it, and then she tells them, and they're just like, okay. Just accepting.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Let's see. There was a section with... Oh, it's the one where they're talking about Hoyd, her and...
The doctor.
Ulam. And she finally puts it together when Ulam is talking about Hoyd. She's like, oh, he's like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, because he makes some comment like, because she's worried that the sorceress is going to kill all the crew members, and Ulam is like, "Oh, for sure she will," and they all know that. They're fine with it, except she probably can't kill me. But even if she can, she certainly can't kill Hoyd. And Tress's moment of like, wait, what? Why Hoyd?
Yeah.
Was pretty comical.
I'm so curious to see what's going to happen with him. I want, like, yeah, I don't know. Because, okay, so basically the plan now, oh, that was after the whole Huck thing, too.
Oh, right.
So basically, Huck gets put in a cage because he conspired to have Hoyd throw a bunch of food and water overboard. Not water, just food. You can't throw water over. Well, casks of water.
There was water that went overboard.
That's really dangerous.
They caught him trying to throw water overboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's revealed that Huck is a familiar for the sorceress.
Which we like.
Not like family history of it. Full blown, he is one.
Yeah. But he was still trying to prevent Tress from going there.
Yeah.
Even, like, it was misguided and scummy, but, like, he still, like, he wants what's best for Tress. Mm-hmm. And he knows more about the sorceress than she does, so, like, I understand. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're getting annoying. Like, just stop it.
I kind of wonder if he isn't Charlie.
Honestly, I was gonna bring that up because I'm wondering if he doesn't remember that he was Charlie. Mm-hmm. You know, but there's like some part of him that like still wants to protect Tress no matter what. Mm-hmm. So he's like jumping through all these hoops, you know, doing all this stuff. It would make it make sense.
Yeah. Yes.
But we will see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But then that triggers her going to Ulam, being like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And now the new plan is to like somehow get Hoyd to help. Like, they can't use Huck's entrance.
Right. Because they were going to have him go through the... Right. He knew a way in, which was also highly suspicious.
Yeah.
But they obviously can't do that now. So. They're just going to the front door.
Cross their fingers. Well, so I'm wondering if... I thought it was funny, too, when Hoyd's like, yeah, I thought I would have got a grasp of the situation by now, but that curse was really, Yeah. That curse was challenging to work around. It's like, that's funny. But I think they're kind of hoping that they can find a way to lift Hoyd's curse. But first things first, in order to even get close, Tress wants to try to experiment on taking control of Midnight Essence so that she can control the nasty Midnight Spore creepy crawlies from the Sorceress.
Right.
And she determines the best way to do that, of course, is to row out by herself in the middle of the Midnight Sea and experiment. And everyone's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. She's still very much trying to carry things by herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think she forgets that she has, a support system of competent people.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. And that part from Anne was so cute where she's like, you can trust me more now. I've got 4 eyes now. Like, that's so cute.
I've got 8 pistols and 4 eyes to aim them with. Yeah. I'm excited for her to get her moment. I hope that she gets a hero moment in the coming chapters.
I do too. I do too.
where she gets to, hit things actually.
Yes.
But so she rows out and takes Huck with her because Huck is like, maybe I can help.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, the spores. The description of the spores I thought was really like well done. Like the midnight essence, the monsters. I thought that was really well done. I thought the description of the midnight sea was interesting because I always just kind of imagined it being nighttime, like all the time,
Yeah.
just pitch black. But I was like, oh no, it would still be daytime, but it's just like blackness, just like almost like blacktop, like concrete, just a sea of it.
Yeah.
Still disconcerting, for sure.
And the description of the midnight moon looking more like a void than a moon, I thought was also really cool.
Yeah. Because the midnight spores come off of it, so it would just look like this weird
Hole.
I imagined it being like this just weird looking hole with no like defined edge. It's just yeah,
Yeah.
hard to wrap your mind around what that would look like. Creepy though.
Very creepy.
Unsettling. The reminder that Tress isn't from a planet where there's oceans where things live in water. So like the idea of this midnight monster like swimming around like an eel through the spores, how unsettling that was to her. I was like, oh, that makes sense. She's never seen any kind of aquatic animal or like an
Right.
eel or
Which is weird, isn't it?
yeah.
To have not ever. Yeah. It's very strange.
We learn a little bit about how the sorceress controls the monsters. Like she creates them and sends them out, but she has like loose control. They have some autonomy. It's unclear whether or not they're like fully alive, but she can't have like 100% control. Otherwise, she'll wither away like any other person.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so she's not like this all powerful, like, there are still limitations to what she can do with the monsters, which is good to know. But yeah, Tress doesn't get to try to like take control of the monster because Huck is just like, I am a familiar of the sorceress. Take us back to the island.
Yeah.
And it does.
Which, I mean,
Hey,
pretty
she is
helpful.
where she needs to be.
Pretty helpful. Little moment there.
Yeah.
From the rat.
Yeah. Although she left her whole crew and her ship behind.
Right. Not part of the plan.
So, I mean, yeah, I feel like they had to have still been close by.
I would think so.
I know that Tress said that she rode out far enough where like she couldn't see them anymore,
Oh.
which I'm like, you're insane. But she also didn't have like a spyglass, and they probably did. So I have a feeling that they saw what happened, and that they're going to give chase. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, now Tress is on the island. And she sees all of the metal men, all of the metallic soldiers with the shields and the spears. The door opens after Huck says that he's there with, what did he say? I have brought an offering or something.
The required. What does he say? Let me find it quick.
He fulfilled his familiar objective.
As I was commanded, I've returned to the tower with a captive to present to the sorceress. Magic door, please open. I was told the door swung open on its own.
Yeah. That's where we're at. And the next chapter is called
She
The
also has her
Sorceress.
cups with her. How did that happen again?
Oh, the monster didn't know if they were important or not, so it just threw her in with the cups. It had never seen a cup before. Very funny.
Yes.
Man, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see all the hero moments, everyone to get their moment to shine, including Hoyd and Ulam. I hope that Ulam gets something, but we'll see.
He's such
I
a
don't know.
weirdo.
I know, but he's like capable of some.
I know. No, I love him, but he's such a weirdo.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to make Tress feel better in that one chapter and is not doing a good job at all.
No.
And then he's like, well, you didn't have to bite my head off. I have 3 saws for that. And she was like, this is not the time for jokes. And he was like, I'm not joking. I have them. I'm like, he's so weird.
Hoyd said an interesting thing about how his race has become more independent since they're no longer like forced to, he said, imitate humans. So I thought that was really interesting.
Right.
As someone who's read Mistborn. It's like, so they're becoming more like themselves, like they're finding some sense of like identity, which is interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because they're like a species of shapeshifters. And how do you have any kind of self-identity when all you do is look like someone else?
Right.
You know, it's an interesting quandary.
For sure.
I thought that was cool. But yeah, I'm super excited.
Me too. So for next week, you're going to finish the dang book. Which Blake has already finished.
Oh, yes.
And he wanted me to say that we need to make sure we read the epilogue, which I was like, we do.
Oh, yeah.
Usually.
Of course.
But just in case there are any listeners out there that do not normally read the epilogue, we have been recommended to ensure that you do read it. So.
Before we sign off, do you have any predictions for how this thing is going to end?
I think that Huck is Charlie.
Fair.
That's my biggest prediction right now. I think that the Sorceress is not going to be like what we expected. Kind of like the dragon was not like what we expected.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tress goes back to the Rock with Charlie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So,
I think
my
she's
prediction,
outgrown
I
it.
think, right. I wouldn't be surprised if Huck is Charlie. Hoyd, I feel like, of course, we know that his curse does get lifted because, like, he's narrating.
Sure. Yes.
So if Huck is Charlie, we'll see if his curse can also be lifted. You know, if assuming it's a curse that turned him into a rat. But we'll see. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe Charlie just ends up being a rat
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that the Sorceress is some kind of world hopper traveler person. Because the whole like metal men and her tower made out of silver, it's very like, it sounds like sci-fi things that a fantasy setting doesn't know how to describe, so they're just describing them in fantasy terms. You know, like the metal men are just robots.
Right.
Or something. Or something like that. Like, I feel like the Sorceress doesn't belong on this planet. But she's there to study something.
Right. Yes. I think that's a good guess.
Yeah, so I think that about the Sorceress. I hope that we get to see Hoyd's curse get lifted and him to be like normal Hoyd. Around Tress. Because I think that'd be amusing to see just the night and day difference.
Yeah.
I think that Tress doesn't go back to the Rock, and I think that she just stays on her pirate ship with her bros.
Yeah,
you know,
she might. She might.
With her newfound family. I feel like that would be cool. I would like that ending.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think at the very least she helps Soleil find her dad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, That's my prediction anyway. We'll see what happens.
We will in just a couple weeks.
So I guess until next time, go finish that dang book.
Do it, and we'll talk at you next time.
Later.